the dream, for example, to play a saxophone with a keyboard was a dream, because the sound was very, very, very unnatural, was very, very ridiculous in certain case. So, for example, when I played the first time swam saxophone, for example, this dream became reality, because now I can realize the dream that I have when I was younger.
Hi and welcome to MIDI Talk. Today, as usual, we are going to talk about MIDI, music technology, and sharing the experience from our friends. Today, we have the pleasure to be here with Andrew or Andrea Dugros, that is our friend, and is recently has been launching a new channel, YouTube channel. So we would like to talk a bit with him, share his experience, and let you know what is going on with Andrew. Ciao Andrew, how are you doing?
Ciao, thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy, and I start with my slogan. Welcome to my bad English, and welcome to my bad English, and welcome to my bad English, welcome to my bad English as always, because is the starting for any video on my channel, because my English is very bad, but I'm a musician.
Yeah, well, we are both Italian and now we are speaking in English. That is a little bit weird, but we would like to share the experience with the entire world. So English, even for our bad English, is the only way to share what we did. So let's start with this chat. Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself a bit? I would like to tell about what you do now, but also what is your personal music background. Where did you start? What is your educational background?
Absolutely. I started at the age of 6 with piano and with classical music, because I come from a musician, a family musician, because my cousin is a teacher of classical musician, and was my teacher for many years. At the age of 8, 9, I remember that I was at school, and that day come in the class a musician that bring a synthesizer to show to the children this instrument, and I was fascinated from this instrument, because this instrument could change the sound, could create the sound differently to the piano. So I was very, very, very fascinated to this instrument. But the first very instrument that I have to the home was a Yamaha Porta Sound. I remember that was this was a very, very little keyboard, but for me was a big experience with this keyboard. And after another keyboard and another keyboard, and the big change was when I bought my first sequencer, and I know the MIDI. And this day was a change life in my life musician. When I was able to record the track with the keyboard and record many tracks to create a song with MIDI, it was fantastic. Was the change of my life. The piano is I continue to play, obviously, the piano that remain my first instrument, but also the keyboard and synthesizer are very important in my life. And also I start to sing because I'm also a singer. So I go on the stage for the first time in front of a public at the age of 15. After I continued to study, and I become Steinberg teacher for the Cubase software in 2002, yes, and also I studied to the CPM in Milan. At the CPM, that is one of the most important private music school in Italy. So is my background. And I start with my first recording studio in the 2003, 2004, and I become a professional musician. I'm a professional musician in my life.
Cool. So, if we would like to summarize your background, you have a classical training in piano, right?
Yes.
And then you develop your skills in keyboard and synths by yourself, but also with the help of the CPM, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Studying at CPM in Milan. And also you are also a singer at the same time. So now you are running your own studio, and you work in music production as well as teaching, if I'm not right.
Yes.
And you're not wrong, sorry. And also you are also a touring musician, correct?
Yes. I'm teacher because I have founded a music academy 20 years ago. So it's a modern, modern academy school, and we have many courses of piano, guitar, drums, all the modern instruments, and obviously the courses of music production and sound engineer that where I teach also.
Yes, cool. That's very interesting. So now I would like just to ask you if you maybe you just told us the moment in your life that you understood that the music technology has an important role in your career. So it was the moment when you discovered the synthesizer the first time, or there is also another moment that you understood that the music technology, the technology applied to music, had an important role in your career?
I think that I understood that this very, very at 7, 8 years, where at the home of my uncle there was an electromagnetic organ. So when I go to this instrument and I could able to change the sound in the organ. Is the moment I think the importance of the technology in the music for me is very 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 important for me. Yes.
Okay, so you know that as you said that the music, the technology applied to music can really unlock a lot of um, possibilities. So
Yeah.
I am wondering because you were talking about the possibility of switching sounds. So to switch from a piano that is an instrument that has its own sound to an instrument that can virtually replicate any other sounds. But also you mentioned the possibility of multi-track recording with the introduction of MIDI. So there are a lot of things that the technology applied to music make that a very important step. But I would like to talk about the dark side of it. If what is do you have any frustration about the technology applied to music? Do you have any ideas about issues or something that can be optimized or make it better on that side?
Yes, one of the most frustration is when you have a big setup. For example, if you see in my studio, I have many instruments, and you go to play live. For example, is very difficult to play, change the sound at the correct moment in the song, and so is one of the most frustration situation for a musician, I think, in live situation, but also in studio. For this, I discovered Camelot Pro. So Camelot Pro is the solution for all these problems in live situation and in studio. Another thing is that I try to say also to my student that it's not important to have a million of plugins in the computer, a million of effects. I think you must have the instrument that you use really, and also you can able to use it, because in most cases I have seen my students, for example, and also other musicians that have millions of instruments, but they are not able to use it. So this is the two most important things that for me for a great workflow, because we have musician, not a programmer, not engineer. So we want to play, we want to compose, we want to arrange. So is when the computer have a problem, and this is another situation where a musician is not happy. The workflow with the computer is very important also.
Yeah. Andrew, I think that you pointed out very interesting things. Okay, I thank you to mention Camelot. We are at the beginning, but I think that the important things that we can take from your experience is that Camelot is very also hardware oriented. We we want to manage in the same things, hardware and software instruments. Other solutions are more software oriented. And I think that you pointed out that it's a problem bringing what you have in studio, the hardware that you have in studio, also the software, and bring that to the stage. So this is a challenging part of your live performance.
Absolutely.
Work.
Absolutely.
The other point that you said that it is extremely interesting is that you said that it's not the number of software and effects that you have, but is how you can work and manage, how you master the instrument. So may I say that it would be better to have less than than 1,000 or million software instruments, but be really good in mastering them, in knowing what they do, and being able to tweak them to get what you need for the production or for the live. Right? Is the this is the meaning what of you are saying, right?
Do you think that in my computer I have 4, 5, 6 factory house of instrument, and I made all my production, all my live with only 5 or 6 factory house of instrument, and 2, 3, 4 hardware synthesizer. So if I can use very well an instrument, I can make things that are impossible to think. Yeah. So is very important for me, this workflow.
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, because we come from more or less the same generation. So when we started, when we were younger, we had to deal with less resources in terms of hardware available, in software influence, very limited, if nothing. But also we didn't have the opportunity to have the access to the information as we do that today. So now if we want to check out a video on YouTube talking about a topic, we can do that. We can see a tutorial for almost anything. I totally agree with you that we need to sit down and take a look deeply what we have, instead of being distracted by the huge number of content that we can access right now. So sometimes it's good to sit down and check out and learn a little bit more, also to be also a better musician.
Yes, obviously I'm curious. So when I see a new product, I'm curious to see, to watch, to try. In my channel, I try many products, but the real product that I use for real to produce are very restricted. Is I think this is very important. When I was young, when I was younger, the dream.
Yeah, still young, but you were younger.
Yes. The dream, for example, to play a saxophone with a keyboard was a dream, because the sound was very, very, very unnatural, was very, very ridiculous in certain case. So, for example, when I played the first time swam saxophone, for example, this dream became reality, because now I can realize the dream that I have when I was younger. So the expressivity of the music is another important thing that I try to make. I try to also to say to my students, for example, because you can play the correct note, you can play the correct chords, but if you don't play with expressivity, you don't play. The expressivity is all in the music for me. It's not necessary to play 100 notes, because if you play the correct note at the correct time with the correct expressivity, so the music transmit an emotion, transmit a sensation, and this is for me one of the most important thing in all the music, and in all in all what I do in studio, and what I do in live, and what I do when I teach to my students.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Also, I was wondering. I think that it's very difficult to teach to a student how to develop expressivity, because I think that being play in an expressive way means that basically you need to connect your musical idea with your fingers, with your hands, with your body, and then transmit that to a musical instrument that is the final music generator. So what is your approach to teach that? How do you try to develop this skill in your students?
Yes, for example, I teach that when you play, for example, a saxophone, and when you play an organ or an electric piano, an acoustic piano, you play in different way. You don't play. You can't play in the same way all the instrument. You need to change the finger position. You need to change the brain, because when I play a saxophone or a trumpet, I think that I am a saxophone player or I am a trumpet player. When I play an organ or a piano, obviously I'm a pianist, so is my instrument. But the expressivity change with the sound that you use. So is very important to think that you are this musician or this musician. You are a guitarist, a saxophone player, a flute player. So you need to change your mind. You need to change your mind, and you need to change also your technique, because it is not the same thing with your finger on the keyboard. So is very important. And another important thing that I teach to my students, it's important to enter in the song with the soul of the song, because is not only the note, the correct note, or only the correct chords, for example, but you need to enter with your mind in the song, because the expressivity is unique. So when you play a song, this song become unique, become only your version is different from any other version in the world, because we are unique. We are a unique person. So also the music that we produce is unique.
Yeah, I totally agree also, because music, like any kind of art, is a communication between the artist and the audience. So when you play any song, you have something to tell. So if you forget that there's something to tell, there will be no communication. So in that case, if you are able to tell something, there will be communication, there will be expressivity, there will be your way of telling something.
Absolutely. So it's very important. And when you go on the stage, you are not only a musician, you are a person that say some things, that say some emotion. So is one of the most important things that a musician can do, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm curious to you mentioned one challenge of performing live, that is bringing your hardware and software setup to stage. Do you have any other challenges to mention for live performance? Do you have any suggestion for people approaching live from your experience?
For my experience, is very important to prepare and not change anything. For me, if you go on the stage and you begin to improvising, is a big wrong. Is most important to go on the stage and don't change anything that you have prepared. And also for the sound, also for the MIDI programming is important. But also musically is important to not change anything. So when I go on the stage, I don't change any note that I have studied before, because is for me is most important.
Yeah, this is a very interesting point. So basically, we should try to prepare the show and then being able to replicate that according to your preparation without adding new stuff. Yeah, but I'm wondering if you do you need to adjust maybe. Have you ever had the need to change something after the preparation because you find out that in that case I'm
yes, in some cases it's necessary to change because there was a technical problem, for example, there was a problem of another musician. For example, another musician have a problem. My guitarist, for example, have a problem with the sound. So I start with the solo with my keyboard, for example. So it is a situation that I have in the stage many times. So another thing, I love improvising. I love improvised music. But for example, in many videos on my channel, I improvising. So I love improvising. But when I speak before is for a preparation for an important live, an important situation. But you need to on the stage. You need to have any kind of situation that is improvising because on the stage is a word. The stage is a word, so is.
Yeah, I think I understood your point. So basically, it's good to reduce the number of variables because everything can happen on stage. So it's good to be on the arrangement that you did. Of course, if the improvisation is a part of the show, because maybe you are playing a music genre that requires improvisation because it's a part of the show. Is the show, but we should not improvise when something should or can be done before in the pre-production. If I summarize your thought, your idea.
Yes, because the improvising is another important thing, because when, for example, when I compose, I start with the improvisation. I start to play, and an idea can be correct to create a song, for example. So the improvisation is very, very important in many cases.
Okay, Andrew, I think that we had the chance to tell important to speak about important topics and provide very interesting tips for people that are approaching also music and for students. So thank you very much for being our guest here.
Thank you.
I am also happy that you help us in development with feedbacks and with your review on your channel. So I hope to see you soon again and watch your new video, your bad English video.
Bad English.
And,
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. And
I'm honored to be here, very, very, very. So thank you to Simone, thank you to Audio Modeling, and see you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao.